was planning on making this video when I got back from my appointment on Thursday, but today is now Sunday. What is today? Sunday the 19th, and a lot happened after my appointment to where, Alistair, you want to join the video again? To where I was not able to make the video. So basically, he wants to be part of the video. You want to be in it? You want to be in it? Alright, first of all, I just want to start with, I do have this app that tracks like how big your baby is every week, and I kind of wanted to back up because I know I sporadically, before my appointment, had told you guys some of the symptoms I've been having, but I think it's kind of fun. So week 4, the size of the baby was like a sprinkle on a cupcake, which is so wild to me when you think about how tired I was, the mood swings, like the effects that it's like ravaging on your body. And I know there's so much more involved there, but to think that's the size is like insane to me. And week 5, it's like a bead from one of those letter bracelets, you know? I don't know if you guys ever used to make those. And week 6 is the size of a jelly bean. And week 7, which is where I'm currently at, let me see. As of today, when recording this, I am 7 weeks and 4 days. And the baby is the size of a lemon head candy. Tuesday, January 14th, they did some blood work. And I didn't end up having to have it repeated because they were able to confirm the pregnancy with the ultrasound, so they didn't need to do like a repeat on the HCG levels. But the results that came back from that blood work was that my HCG levels were 18,823. I have been losing weight in this pregnancy, so I think I kind of mentioned in my previous recording that I had gained a lot of weight from medication, and then I lost down to like about 150, but I've been decreasing. I have been losing weight since then just because I can't eat anything. So I'm about 146 right now. On Tuesday I was 149, and it's kind of been slowly going down. That's pretty typical and normal in the first trimester, so like it's not a big deal, but something to like watch, you know, make sure that it doesn't get worse. Thursday, which was January 16th, I went in for the ultrasound. You know, is it ectopic pregnancy? Did I have a miscarriage that just hasn't passed? Like where we were at. And sorry if the camera's moving. We're gonna get this recording thing down again. So I drank a ton of water, and she was like, "Girl, you do not need to drink. You could drink like maybe half of this next time and you'd be totally fine." So my bladder was super full. So luckily I didn't have to do the vaginal ultrasound. I was able to just do the regular abdominal one because she could see everything she needed to see. And I was measuring anywhere, this was on Thursday, between 7 weeks and 0 days to 7 weeks and 1 day. It was kind of a discrepancy, but that puts my due date at September 3rd to September 4th. Locations because Alistair is obsessed with trying to knock the camera over. I'm going to show you the ultrasound pictures that they were able to get. And there's like nothing, like this is literally, like I just said, the size of a lemon head. But there is the baby. And she said the heartbeat was 144 beats per minute. And I'm feeling like it's a girl, but like I also know that I really want a girl. But the thing is with Jackson, I really also wanted a girl, but I knew it was a boy. So we will see. I know they say there's things with like the heart rate and determining. My mom's like, "Oh, it was always spot on with you kids," but I don't know. I think there can, I don't know. We'll see. So I got done with the appointment. I felt so good about it. We went over so many things like genetic testing at 10 weeks. It was basically my first appointment, even though it wasn't supposed to be till February 11th. I'm considered a geriatric pregnancy by the time I deliver the baby. I will be 35. And then I also have other complications in my past. I have a history of cervical cancer. I have been unable to conceive at all since Jackson, it has been 17 years, almost to the date. January 16th, that night, I started having some like brownish bleeding, and it looked like older blood. I was like, that's weird, and I did like some research, and it can be normal, so it definitely shouldn't be like implantation bleeding, especially because just a few hours before in the ultrasound she was going through everything. She's like, okay, it doesn't look like there's any blood in here. Sometimes there is, which is normal. It just is from the implantation bleeding. It just hasn't come out, but you don't have anything like that going on. So I'm like, okay. It wasn't a lot. It was just a little bit, but I also had some stressful family situation going on Thursday night. So Friday, I started having like some really intense, painful cramping. And so yeah, this is Friday, January 17th. And I'm like, I did not feel good, and if I laid down and put my feet up, it seemed to like subside a little bit, but if I got up to even like go to the bathroom or shower, anything, it would be just like so intense. And I kept checking, and like there's still kind of like the brownish, but like nothing more. I'm like, that's so weird. So I was sitting on my bed, because that's where I do my schoolwork. I'm in school right now. And I was doing my schoolwork, and I felt this just like gush, like, like when you would start your period. And so I'm like, what in the heck was that? And I look, and it's just bright red. There's so much. It's like everywhere. And I go and I sit on the toilet, and like it's like filling the toilet, and I'm like, okay, I'm probably having a miscarriage. And I'm early enough along, and like just everything I've been told about not being able to have kids. When I looked, and like in the first bit, there was like a little bit of tissue, it looked like, but then the rest was just like blood. So I called my OB, and the nurse called me back, and she's like, you just had the ultrasound yesterday, and everything was fine. Heartbeat, like, viable pregnancy, like, you were fine. She said this could be a threatened miscarriage, so in order to try to get it to stop, you need to lay down and put your feet up. So I did, but the pain just kept getting worse and worse, and here we are going into the weekend, of course. It's a Friday, and everyone's going to be out of the office, and she just said to call the on-call nurse if the pain got a lot worse or the bleeding was becoming to the point where I needed to be seen. So this all happened in this was like Friday afternoon, and I think it was like 3:30 or 4. There was more blood coming, and the pain was to the point where I would end up holding my breath. I was in so much pain that I like would catch myself like not breathing. I'm like, I need to call. I probably need to go in, but I don't want to go into the ER because it takes hours. I just wanted to do like urgent care and confirm like what's going on. So I called the on-call nurse, and she was like, absolutely not. You need to go straight to the ER. Urgent care is not going to have what you need in terms of like imaging and things like that. The pain had gotten to the point where it was like almost like contractions. And I know it's been so long. It's been so long since I've even felt that, but it was more than period cramping for sure. So I'm like, something is not right. I had been on activity restrictions since Tuesday when they started the blood work process, and I finally arrived to the ER at like 6 p.m. and it was so busy, and I felt almost guilty for being there, because the thing is, like, if you are having a miscarriage, there's nothing they can do to stop it. It's like basically confirming or not confirming, right? We were in the waiting room, 6 p.m., probably in just the waiting room for like 2.5 hours, and there were so many times where I'm like, I just want to go home. I'd rather do this at home. I'm in so much pain. The lights are so bright. It's noisy. Like, I just want to like go lay down. I waited it out. They did get some urine from me when I was in the waiting room. They wanted to get some blood, but my veins are crap, like total crap. And they had already gotten blood on Tuesday, and I was worried how they were going to get it Thursday. So he looked, and he's like, yeah, they'll probably have to place an IV, so let's not mess with any of the veins, and they can just get the blood when they get your IV. I was at the hospital for over 8 hours. I don't think I got home till like 3 in the morning. When they did finally get the blood work, it came back, 34,989, so it had gone up, which is a good sign. Doesn't mean I wasn't having a miscarriage, just means it had continued to go up from that time, so baby's growing, but we already kind of knew that because we had found the heartbeat. So after a ton of waiting, I finally got an ultrasound. They tried to do the abdominal one, but this time my bladder wasn't full, so they ended up having to do the transvaginal ultrasound, and I felt so uncomfortable because I was still having like that bleeding, and I think it was around midnight that I noticed it like stopped, like because it'd be intermittent, like spurts of blood. I think it was around midnight that stopped, but the cramping was still going. She was able to find the baby. Heart rate was still the same, 144 beats per minute. She also found a leiomyoma. I believe that's how you say it. And it's considered like a benign tumor. She told me, oh, I need to go call the radiologist. This is just protocol, nothing to worry about. I'll be right back, which I haven't had happen during an ultrasound before. But when she came back, she just said, okay, you're going to need to follow up with your doctor Monday. And then she had somebody else come in and talk to me and explain that they had found what looked to be like a tumor in my uterus that was most likely causing the bleeding. It's either that or the threatened miscarriage. But regardless, if I hadn't had gone in, that first ultrasound didn't catch this that I had on Thursday. And it's likely I'll need surgical intervention. The pain has pretty much gone down to like what would be normal, like just kind of feeling like a little uncomfortable, stretching of ligaments, that kind of thing. No more bleeding at all. That stopped. That was just like a crazy experience. As you would probably imagine, this wasn't planned. And feeling like I am literally getting my son ready. Like, he's 16, he's driving, he's looking at colleges, like, so to think that I'm starting over was really hard for me to wrap my head around at first. And when I felt that I was losing the pregnancy, especially the day after hearing the heartbeat, it was really, really emotional and hard for me. And I feel like I should be more scared knowing that there's this tumor. Is it likely benign? Yes. Could it not be? I don't know. Like, I need to follow up. But the fact that that's what they found gave me more relief than to hear that I was like having a miscarriage. I have so much going on where anybody looking from the outside in would be like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, you can't do this right now. So really good that I did go get checked out and that this was found. And I will be calling and following up tomorrow with my OB because today is Sunday. Planning to do some other videos in between, like my weekly updates. So I'll be doing like my 8-week update next week, this upcoming week. And I also got this like sneak peek test. I've heard about like IntelliGender tests, and I think they're like pretty accurate from what I've heard and seen. But this sneak peek one was recommended by my doctor, which is so silly that I even got it because they're able to determine my gender with like 99% accuracy in this genetic testing they're talking about doing at 10 weeks. But I just don't think I could contain myself. Like, I like feel like I have to know and like prepare, which is also crazy because I shouldn't be like doing all of this when I'm in the first trimester and at such a risk of miscarriage and all these complications. But I can't help it. I'm just like excited and I just want to know. So we'll see. I think like part of me is like, it really does feel like I'm having a girl, and I'm like so excited about that I'm like, you're gonna end up having a boy. Like, it's gonna be a boy because you're like so set that it's a girl. And so I think I just like want to know. So I will record that, the process and like how you do the test and stuff. They have just come out with so many things since I had Jackson that it's insane. Like, so many advances in technology and just everything that they can do. I will definitely update on what the gender is and what I find out with my health, and keep doing weekly updates on the pregnancy and just all of it. I'm excited to be documenting this process, and I so wish I would have with Jackson. I so would have loved to compare like morning sickness symptoms, and like I feel like I was always sick at night with him too. Because like right now it's the morning and I feel fine to do this. Like if it was night, I would not even be able to do this right now. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next week. Bye!